एवरीवन, वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल द सोलफुल डायरी। आज की वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे विजय तेंदुलकर और उनके प्ले साइलेंस द कोर्ट इज इन सेशन और शांतता कोर्ट चालू है। प्ले को डिस्कस करने से पहले प्ले राइट के बारे में डिस्कस कर लेते हैं। Vijay Tendulkar was born on January 6, 1928 in Maharashtra, where his father held a clerical job and ran a small publishing house. He wrote his first story at the age of 6. He grew up watching Western plays and was inspired to write plays. At the age of 11, he wrote, directed, and acted in his first play. At the age of 14, he participated in the 1942 Indian freedom movement, leaving his studies. He was a leading Indian playwright, movie and television writer, literary essayist, political journalist, and social commentator, primarily in Marathi. He is best known for his play Silence the Courtesan Session, Ghashiram Kotwal, and Sakaram Binder. Many of Tendulkar's plays derived inspiration from real life incidents or social upheavals which provide clear and or unharsh reality. He provided guidance to students studying uh, writing in US universities. For over 5 decades, Tendulkar had been highly influential dramatist and theatre personality in Maharashtra. Vijay Tendulkar died in Pune on May 19, 2008. Violence through sexual pleasures and taboos considered in a male dominant society. Most of his plays are based on real incidents which throw light upon various aspects of the society. He won the Sahitya Akademi and Padma Bhushan Award. Tendulkar's plays are well crafted and his stage direction assure good production. His writing style seems to be at surface level simple but contains deep meaning. He makes use of song and employs distinct styles and languages to portray complex human characters in his play. He does not present his characters in black and white shades, rather, he sees them in grey, a combination of black and white. In other words, he tries to say that no one character is completely good or bad. They are the combination of both the sides, a reality of all human characters. Thus, his characters are the product of both good and evil. He majorly brings out the issues of middle class society that are contemporary, like issues of patriarchy, gender, politics, and violence. Another matter is he never provides a solution of happy ending in this place, rather raises questions that leave the readers or audiences sensitized about the issues. Man versus woman and hypocrisy of the middle class society are the main themes of his writings. Summary of the play. Vijay Tendulkar emerged as a rebel against the established values of a fundamentally orthodox society. With the production of Shantata Court Chalu Hai or Silence the Court is in Session in 1967, he became the center of controversy. This drama presents a metaphorical trial between the humanist and the anti humanist. Silence the Court is in Session is in reality a mock trial of simple and straightforward schoolteacher Miss Leela Binare. She's cross examined in the court with full mockery. She's charged with infanticide and having illicit relations with a married person, Professor Damle, and in this way, her private life is exposed. All the other characters, like witnesses Mr. Gopal, Pongshe, Mr. Karnik Rokhde, Saman, counsel for the defense and counsel for the crown, Mr. Sukhatme, and then Mr. Kashiarkar and his wife, Mrs. Kashiarkar, all behave in a way of mockery. While Miss Binare remains the prime accused as the mother of an illegitimate child and having illicit relations with so many people. As the trial goes on, all the witnesses and authorities become inimical towards Miss Leela Binane on the charge of unmarried motherhood and having illicit relations with so many people. The judge, Mr. Kashiarkar, orders the school authorities to dismiss such an immoral lady. Miss Benare tried to defend herself through a long soliloquy. The parrot to the sparrow said, "Why, oh, why are your eyes so red? Oh, my dear friend, what shall I say? Someone has stolen my nest away. Sparrow, sparrow, poor little sparrow. Oh, brother crow, oh, brother crow. Were you there? Did you see it go? No, I don't know. I didn't see. What are your troubles to do with me? Oh, sparrow, sparrow, poor little sparrow. The jury of the Sangeet Natak Academy refused to accept Silence the Court is in session as a play because they were stuffed with colonial hang-ups and they considered themselves to be consumers in the entertainment market. Maharajas promoting Indian art and culture in their private dance halls. Vijay Tendulkar, by refusing to conform to such norms of complacency, imposes his own authorial power, which is accepted by the money magnates as a trivial, non serious activity. Tendulkar's play is based on the theme of power, its sources and manifestation. The characters fight for authority and power and try to trap each other through a metaphorical mock court. But peculiarly, the power play that underscores the games operates more through the monologues rather than through the dialogues. The play oscillates between the theatrical Theatricalization of private life and privatization of theatrical performance. Miss Benares' position within the game of mock trial is not steady. She oscillates between reality and illusion, and the imaginative and the mundane. While performing the role of a woman in the group, she transcends the limitations of verbal reasoning and tries to spy into the masculine strategies. The charges against Miss Binari are leveled by evidences of reality that mark out the boundaries which might be called the collective mindscape, the limits of same experience. Miss Binari differs as to the best way to break loose from the enslavement to collective prejudice, but she believes that truth and reality are achieved only when reality is approached in nakedness of mind. Miss Minari's argument against body and its mechanical connections and her discourse of emotion saves her from dehumanization. Her statement is the last monologue also reminds one of Theodore Roosevelt's observation quoted by Charles Frankel. A proud, presumptuous head speaks one language, a body another, a silent, arcane language. A head experiences in the mode of number, logic, mechanical connection. Our body is in the process of fluid process, intuitive adaptation, it says, to an inner purposive rhythm. Vijay Tendulkar again and again mentions society and social customs by his characters. Miss Binare has the charge of infanticide. Mr. Kashirkar, the judge, inquires Sukhatme. Did you notice also, Sukhatme, that this charge is important from the social point of view? The question of infanticide is one of great social significance. That is why I deliberately picked it. We consider society's best interest in all we do. Miss Benare, the heroine of the play, is a school teacher. She's totally devoted to her profession, and her popularity has caused the envy of her colleagues at school and even the school management. Initially, when Leela Benare narrates her life in the school with children, she transformed the empty scenic space of the proscenium stage into a school institution. Leela's acting changes the dialogic narration into live performance, and with that, the empty space transformed into a new mimetic space. The characters go back to a changed context and situation. Leela becomes the teacher, and other performers become children. Benares suddenly expansive. Shall I tell you a story? Children, be seated. There was once a wolf. As the game of transformation begins, the others also volunteer to participate in the process. Rodke suddenly sitting down cross-legged. To tell it, Miss sit down, Mr. Sukhadme Poksha sit down. In the court, Miss Benares' crimes of infanticide and illegitimate motherhood are established by the prosecution as crimes against society. To Sukhadme Kashikar says, "This case has great social significance, Sukhatme, no joking. I must put aside and practice of court and give evidence." The public prosecutor Sukhatme clarifies that motherhood is sacred and a mother bears the responsibility of bearing her children and mindful of her own difficulties, and Miss Benari has brought shame to the holy motherhood by her conduct. The woman who is an accused has made a heinous blot on the sacred brew of motherhood, which is purer than heaven itself. For that, any punishment, however great that the law may give her, will be too mild for her. The character of the accused is appealing. It is bankruptcy of morality. Not only that, her conduct has blackened all social and moral values. The accused is public enemy. If such socially destructive tendencies are encouraged to flourish, this country and its culture will be totally destroyed. Sukhatme further clarifies his point. Infanticide is a dreadful act, but boiling an illegitimate child is horrifying. If it is encouraged, there will be no such thing as the institution of marriage. Immorality will flourish. Before our eyes, our beautiful dream of a society governed by tradition will crumble into dust. It is through his character that Vijay Tendulkar expresses his deep concern about motherhood, morality, society, tradition, and our religion. The judge, Mr. Kashikar, defends social customs while giving judgment on Miss Benari's case. Prisoner Miss Benari, pay the closest attention. The crimes you have committed are most terrible. There is no forgiveness for them. Your sin must be expiated. Irresponsibility must be champed down. The judge expresses his views on motherhood thus. Motherhood must be pure and sacred. This court takes a serious view of your attempt to dynamite all this. The morality which you have shown through your conduct is the morality you are planning to impart to the youth of tomorrow. The judge pronounces final judgment thus: neither you nor anyone else should ever do anything like this again. No moments of your sins should remain for future generations. Therefore, this court hereby sentences that you shall live, but the child in you, her womb, shall be destroyed. Although Miss Leela Binari says that society has no right to interfere with her private liberties, but in spite of that, she cannot totally shy away from her responsibility. Vijay Tendulkar has developed the central character of Miss Binari through the contents of a beautiful poem by Mrs. Shirish Pai. Miss Binari is very frank in giving a fitting reply to the charge levelled against her against her the court. She tells the judge that life is a very dreadful thing and life must be hanged. Na Jeevan Marathi, life is no worthy of life. Hold an inquiry against life, sack it from its job. But why? Why was I stuck in my work? I just put my whole life into working with children. Characters: Miss Leela Benares. She was intelligent, knowledgeable, experienced, and a beautiful lady. She was a teacher. She was in a team which had to perform play theatre. She had been told that she would be accused and she had to defend herself in the play, for which she would be provided with a lawyer. But as the play commences, everyone starts to accuse Miss Benari and she's forced to defend herself in the court. She's unmarried but pregnant, and everyone starts to accuse her, and she had to defend herself in the court. She was a strong and straightforward lady. She has always seen people turning against her, as it is evident even in her childhood. Her mother was against her love. She had always handled problems by herself, even when she was pregnant and was carrying Professor Damle's child without being married. She tried to hide the fact from the society. Raghunath Bikaji Samant, a local villager who helps the living courtroom find the meeting hall and setup. Sukhatme, a central member of the living courtroom who usually plays the prosecution's lawyer. Balu Rokhade, a young man who lives with Mr. and Mrs. Kashikar, who acts as a kind of foster family for him. Rodke is indebted to them and acts as their unpaid servant. Mr. Kashirkar, a social worker and member of the living courtroom. Mrs. Kashirkar, a supporting member of the living courtroom who is critical like her husband. She endures near constant verbal abuse from Kashirkar. Pungshe, a science student. Professor Damle, a character who does not appear on the stage during the show. But Miss Leela Benare was pregnant with the child of the professor. Class hypocrisy with the play, the playwright brings to light up the deep-seated, faint moral values and hypocrisy of middle-class society, more specifically man's attitude towards women. It is through the ordeal of an independent single woman's life who wants to give birth to a child out of wedlock. Tendulkar demonstrates the hypocrisy of middle-class values. He does this through the mock trial. According to him, every middle class man is basically devoid of human understanding and significance of life. They are in a way hollow and have nothing but the bogus moral values. Once the mock trial begins, Miss Benari's fellow actors who represent the macrocosm of society reveal their actual face. They plot against Miss Benari, who has transgressed societal values. She has committed the crime of losing her virginity before her marriage and is also pregnant now out of wedlock. The trial begins with the Mr. Kasharkar's sudden interrogative question, prisoner Miss Benare, under section number 302 of the Indian Penal Code. You are accused of the crime of infanticide. Are you guilty of the aforementioned crime? On this question, Miss Benari is dumbfounded in the courtroom and also while discussing serious issues. The casual attitude of pan spitting, smoking, and ear picking have been masterly portrayed. Here, the dramatist points out towards the careless and ruthless attitude of the society. Moreover, whenever during the trial Miss Benares' expressions change, her persecutors become curious to know about her personal life, a typical middle class attitude. All these upholders of the societal norms give long speeches on importance of motherhood and at the same time they do not hesitate to kill a child who is the result of an illicit relationship. They also show concern towards future generations, unconscious of their own faulty moral values. In this act of cruelty, women also, out of jealousy, participate and indirectly help in sustaining patriarchal societal norms. Mrs. Kashikar, out of inferiority complex, insecurity, and jealous of Miss Benares' independence, never leaves an opportunity to insult and taunt her. Man versus woman. This is a woman centric play that reflects upon how women are silenced in patriarchal society. The, the playwright through Miss Benares expresses the atrocities carried out on women by patriarchal society. Miss Benares, who is struggling for survival, is caught like an animal in a dock and silenced. She is trapped and hunted like an animal, the door being locked from outside and Mrs. Kashirkar's dragging her to the dock and the frequent usage of the word game shows how women are victimized and isolated in the society. Society does not allow women to freely think and become independent. The character says, my private life is my own business. I will decide what to do with myself. Her ideas are modern and she's not a hypocrite. My life is my own, and I have not sold it to anyone for a job. My will is my own, my wishes are my own. No one can kill those, no one. I will do what I like with myself and my life. I will decide. But she has to succumb to the societal rules and she's forced to remain silent. In this society, a woman is forced to live a life dictated by others when Mr. Kasharkar expresses that marriage is the very foundation of a society's stability. Motherhood must be sacred and pure. This court takes a serious view of your attempt to dynamite all this. Thus, he declares that she should destroy her child, Women are subjugated and controlled when she is not allowed to take decisions of her life. In this manner, their actual achievements and creativity remains unnoticed like Miss Benar is treated by the school authorities. Society loves and respects women as mothers, but somewhere they are relegated to lower status. In the garb of mother, they are powerless as they become take career but not the decisions. थैंक यू। आई होप आज की वीडियो आपको अच्छी लगी होगी। कैसी लगी आप कमेंट करके बताएं। अगर अच्छी लगी तो लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब टू माय चैनल। आप आने वाले किस टॉपिक पर देखना चाहते हैं हमें कमेंट करके बताएं। मिलते हैं कल शाम 4 बजे एक और इन्फॉर्मेटिव वीडियो के साथ।